All right, Yuri. Feeling a little warmer today, not so cold like that glacier video. Guess we're going to the desert climates for our next www.ugh. What well-sorted deposit could we be talking about? The wind. So wind, usually desert deposits. Just drop my. Be right back 1 second. There's another. I can't focus now. There's another sheet. Oh, it was blank. It wasn't even worth getting up again for. So, trees, roots, they help stop erosion. A lot of grasses, and we have a lot of plants that hold erosion, hold the soil in place. Deserts, not so much. So desert erosion, usually rivers are the main agent of erosion places, but in deserts, there's no water. So there's not a ton of features that we learn about. Sand dunes are really the one thing that shows up the most. So you got to know the direction. They're gentle from the way that the wind came, and then it's steeper on the downslope. We'll go over a couple other better diagrams than Yuri's drawings. Sorry, buddy. Well sorted, frosted. So they kind of look pitted or frosted from all of that wind abrasion. Sand blasting is a term that comes up. They're always going to look rounded. Wind really can't move anything larger than coarse sand. Once in a while, this term ventifact will show up. That's the wind makes sand blasting happen here, and it kind of wears down the leading edge of the rock, and then you've kind of got this type of shape. It's more rare for that to show up. There's other things too, like desert pavement. That's when the wind blows the rest of the sand away and whatever it leaves behind. And I'll show you arches. I'm not a good enough artist to really, Yuri isn't a good enough artist to really show that. But we'll just go over a few of the wind features, do a couple wind questions, and you hear that? Bye. I'm just not as funny when I'm outside of school. I feel like I'm much more funny in school. Okay, so here we have some cross-bedding. This is just to show that the wind, those sand dunes, you can get these cross-bedding features. This is a wind deposition environment. And you can see some sand dunes here. So this one shows it nicely. You've got the gentle slope and then the steep slope. It's called windward and leeward side. So here, what direction would the wind have been going? Would have been going that way. So kind of the exact opposite of the shape of a drumlin, and those can be confusing for people, but they love to have you identify what way did the wind blow. Also, you're going to have rounded, frosted, pitted, well-sorted sand grains and smaller deposits. It's back to our www.ugh. And then here, let's see what kind of drawing skills I have here. You can see these layers through the rock. These used to be those continuous layers, right? And this rock right here just happened to be, especially right there, a little bit harder rock. And so you had the least resistant rock. The softer rock kind of gets worn away first. Sand blasting, a lot of abrasion with these wind deposits. But that arch right there, that's typical of a wind-dominated erosion environment. And remember, softer rock, harder rock, less resistant rock weathers first. One of my favorite diagrams, a little confusing, but I really liked when they had this on the test that year. So they show you the direction the wind was going, and they show you some, loose sand, so it could kind of get blown around and form a sand dune. So you have to be able to draw the shape of the sand dune here. Just giving you a second to hopefully maybe mentally draw one. How would it look? And it would look something like that. And I exaggerated it just a bit, but you want to show the steep side here and the gradual side over here. And they say, show variations in slope. So if you're going to draw a diagram, exaggerating it a little bit is always a good idea. Same exact question again here. Very easy to get confused between two options. I think right away we know that that's not an option and that's not an option. For the wind, you'd pick this option here. This looks, if this was ice instead of wind, this would be your pick and that would be a drumlin. But you've got a well-sorted deposit like this, and you have an